You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Road trip. Yes, I am taping this episode from Big D, Dallas. I'm here with Zeki, my cool cat. Together, we are spending our time in Dallas. We're going to teach pet first aid, give a dog and cat behavior workshop, but there is an extra special reason why I'm bringing my cat. Zeki hails from Dallas. A few years ago, she was that famous stray who survived a brutal knife attack, and thanks to some kind people in Dallas, she survived, and now she thrives as America's Ambassacat. Making our trip possible is our special guest today. She is president of Park Cities Pet Sitter. That is the best professional pet sitting company in the Dallas area. I want you all to please give pause and applause to the one and only Joette White. Hey, welcome to the show, Joette.
Thank you, Arden.
All right, now later in the show, we're also going to have a surprise guest. So, everybody, you know the drill. Sit and stay. We'll be right back after we take this commercial break.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your 4-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We bring you this show from Dallas, home of the Dallas Cowboys, the best-tasting pecans on the planet, and a city with such unpredictable weather that meteorologists really earn their pay. It is also the birthplace of my special cat, Zeki, a spunky survivor of a knife attack who now travels with me all over America to assist me in teaching pet first aid and pet behavior. Joining us on the show today is Joette White. She is president of Park Cities Pet Sitter, and she's the gal who is responsible for our trip to Dallas. Now, Joette, I'm so glad you're here, and we need to get started. If you would, tell the listeners a little bit about Park Cities Pet Sitter.
Well, it was a company that started in 1992, actually a one-woman show back then, and I didn't come into the scene until 96 as a pet sitter and ended up buying the company in 2000. We have grown tremendously. It's just amazing, the need for pet care in this market. And we provide in-home pet care. We come to the home, customize it for the client, because we believe that, the pets are happier and healthier if they can stay in their own environment.
And people, you're going to memorize this. It's PCPSI.com. That's the way to find out more about Park Cities Pet Sitter, the company. And you do more than just come in and say, hey, dog, hey, kitty, some of the things that you guys do. I mean, the role, I think, of professional pet sitters, you're almost like a concierge service, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, to a certain degree. We really want to match the client with the best sitter for their pet, and they live in the area that they service, so they have that consistency and that ongoing relationship. So they get to know their animals and their behavior. So we're really fortunate because there's times when we've been able to spot a health issue that the client may not have noticed or something and bring it to their attention, and we've saved lives.
And you also water plants.
We do water plants. We bring in your mail, your newspaper. We'll fill your pool. Any little extras that we can do to add to our service that benefits our clients is well worth it. I mean, we'll ask you questions like, "Where's your water shut off?" And people will look at us like, "Why do you need to know where my water shut off?" Well, when your pipes freeze, we want to make sure that they're not going to burst and have any issues
smart.
or anything like that.
Yeah, because when you walk in, you really don't know what to expect, do you?
No, you never know. That's kind of the fun of what we do as well, because it's not a dull day. So
Now, you've done dogs and cats you care for. What are some of the more unusual pets you have pet sit for?
Well, we've taken care of chickens, which are becoming more popular as people want to go more organic. We've had potbelly pigs, chinchillas, occasional lizard here or there. It's interesting for sure.
That's for sure. Now, we got to let the cat out of the bag, Zeki. Tell our listeners how you and I met and how I ended up in Dallas.
I was lucky enough to meet you at the Pet Sitters International Conference that was in Austin in September of last year, and found out the story about Zeki, and I was like, wow, that's my neighborhood. And, just realized very quickly that we would really work well together, and I just I have to bring Arden to Dallas, and was excited that we could include Zeki, and it's an incredible opportunity, and I'm very blessed to be part of it.
Well, I guess I didn't torture you too badly in my presentation at the Pet Sitters Conference.
No, not at all.
You wanted more of Arden Moore?
Yes, more.
All right. So while we're in Dallas, our game plan is we've taught, 3 classes of pet first aid, including you. And the program is a very hands-on program through Pet Tech. You guys can dash over to pettech.net. I am one of 14 active master certified pet instructors, and I am happy to announce that Joette White, president of Park Cities Pet Sitter, paid attention in class and earned a 2-year certification in pet first aid. So tell me, when you got to class, did you have some apprehensions? And after you got to hang out with me and Zeki, and we had a borrowed pet first aid dog by the name of Bert. And I got to tell you, listeners, this is radio, so you be very creative. Imagine a dog who is a cross between a Basset Hound and a Great Pyrenees. That is Bert. This is one of the sweetest, most mellow dogs who belongs to Beth Bowers, who let us borrow Bert during the classes. Joette, you came to class. It's a 6-7 hour class. Any apprehensions, and what was your response to the class?
Well, I had taken CPR before through the Red Cross, and so I knew a little bit of what to anticipate. But this class was so much more in-depth and gave me a lot more hands-on as far as things that we deal with in the pet sitting world as well as with our own pets. I don't think I was overwhelmed, but I was pleasantly surprised about the good information and the hands-on experience that we did get. And I feel like it was a really well-worth class, and definitely we'll do it again. We have sitters that we still some that need to take the class, so hopefully we can get you back out here and get some more people
I'll
trained.
be back with Zeki. And what do you think about Zeki as a pet first aid cat? I mean, this cat is in class with a dog it doesn't know and a bunch of people. Tell the people how Zeki behaved in class.
Oh, she was incredible. It was really remarkable to watch her, how she just was very cool, calm, and collected. No matter how many people handled her or what other animals were in the room, she was unaffected. And it was just really, it was a lot of fun working with her.
And we got to check her pulse. She let us do what's called a capillary refill check. That's when you take your thumb and you gently press against your dog or cat's gum above their canine for about 2 seconds and release. And you should see that bubblegum pink color return within 1 to 2 seconds. I mean, you actually put your fingers in a cat's mouth. That was pretty brave, Joette.
I know.
Have you tried that yet on your kitties at your place?
I have one that you can do that with. The other one has dark gray gums, so it's hard to see anything from that. But yes, and I am unscathed. I have all fingers.
All right. Now, you took the class, but you also have not people on contract, but you actually have your professional pet sitters are employees of yours. So I think I counted it right. You had about, counting you, 17 people that got certified. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we have about 30 on staff, but 17 we were able to get through the program. So we're hoping to get the remainders later this year.
And what do you think that means? Like, all right, now you've got the majority of your employees are certified. How do you think that's going to help you with your business and maybe help your clients?
Well, our goal has always been to educate and to stay on top of the latest things so that we can be better service and better for our clients, better for our clients' pets. And I just think it just sets us apart because we're able to, again, because we have this relationship with these animals and we see them on a fairly regular basis for many of them, being prepared for any kind of an emergency, especially living in Texas, we have a lot of heat here. It just sets us apart. And I think that we're, while we hope we are not faced with those things, knowing that we have the knowledge and the experience behind that from the pet tech training, we feel much more confident going into a situation if we are faced with some sort of emergency.
Yeah, I think we do what's called an emergency and a wellness snout-to-tail assessment, listeners. So Joette and her gals and guys from Park City's Pet Sitter, they learned how to assess a pet that isn't moving. There's something wrong with this pet quickly, but also how to do a nice 10-minute or so snout-to-tail assessment where you find out what's normal in a healthy, happy pet. And you said before, your employees have found things in pets and they were able to alert their owners. Do you have a couple examples?
Yeah, we've had instances where on more than one occasion we've noticed a kitty drinking a lot of water or, having trouble urinating or whatever it might be. And in some instances it was an insulin issue, found out they were diabetic or they may have had a urinary tract infection. Also been able to adjust situations where a dog was in a kennel and just very, very unhappy about the whole situation and had some hip issues. And one of my sitters was able to make a suggestion on just, adding a bed to the kennel or, maybe an alternative to, improve the quality of life. Also, very carefully because we don't want our clients to feel like we're coming in and telling them they're doing a bunch of things wrong. Well, that's not our job. We want to enhance their lives. Yeah, we want to enhance their relationship. And, so the stuff that we learned that we could take on for our own animals, we want to encourage our clients to do on a regular basis as well. Get to know your pet, get to know, do a monthly exam over your pet from head to tail and just, know what their body is and how they react to stuff so that if something does change, you can get them into the vet and hopefully catch things early.
And speaking of keeping our pets in crates or carriers, I got to share with you guys, I took Zeki in her airline-approved carrier on a Southwest flight, and I want to give you some tips so that there is no fur flying at the airports. So here's some advice, and it worked really well with Zeki. If you can, do not feed your pet before they go on a long trip, because you're going to make them have to cross all four legs and perform Kegels, or everybody in the airplane is going to be able to smell a wonderful odor that they can't escape. So just keep some cleaning materials in the carrier with you. So in case Zeki had an oopsie, I was ready to quickly clean it up. When you get to the airport, you really need to get there at least 2 hours ahead of time because you have a pet. You don't want any kind of delays and miss your flight. You always have to book ahead to reserve a spot in the cabin with you if your pet is small enough. And remember that some airlines, they all differ on their policies. You have to make sure that some airlines will only allow a few pets per flight, so you've got to get your spot in. And yes, you do have to pay for your carry-on baggage that happens to purr or bark. And the fees, again, vary. When you get to the airport, you're going to get to the security sections. And here comes the fun part. You are going to be instructed to take your pet out of the carrier. Now remember, you've already taken out your shoes, your computer is in its little container getting x-rayed, and there's a bunch of people hungry and in a hurry trying to get through security with you, and you got to take a cat out of the carrier or your dog. Please keep them on a harness and have a leash that you can quickly put on before you pull the kitty or the doggy out of the carrier. That just helps you so that they don't squirt out of your hands and start running into, the gift shop and trying to buy some, little goodies to have before they go on the flight. You really need to be calm and have a nice hold on your pet, and you're going to be walking through the x-ray with your pet in your arms. And then comes the fun. After you go through that, then you have to please put your cat or dog back in the carrier. Make sure it's completely zipped up before you worry about grabbing your computer, your luggage, and your shoes. And we did that, Joette, and it worked really well. What do you think of that?
That's incredible.
I mean, it's like, what? I got to take the cat out of the bag? Yes, you do. So be prepared. In fact, practice taking your cat in and out of the carrier before you get to the airport. Make the carrier a really welcoming place for your dog or cat. Leave it around the house with the door open and toss a couple of treats in there with some nice bedding. So let your cat or your dog get used to this carrier and the scent. I was very happy and very lucky, Joette, even though you know that Zeki likes to go, wow, 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 when she's in a car. I am so blessed. She is a mime inside an airplane. She never talks. She was there and right in front of my feet, and people didn't even know I had a cat. What do you think about that?
That is awesome.
I am very
I have first-hand
grateful.
experience about the mewing in the car.
Oh, yeah. So what was your thought about Zeke's vocals? Do you think she could be on American Idol?
She could be a contender, yeah.
She doesn't lip sync, man. She's no Beyonce when it comes to being important. She just says it, right?
That is so true.
All right, we're talking with Joette White. She is the president of Park Cities Pet Sitter, and she is the one who brought Zeki and myself to Dallas to give some pet first aid and pet behavior talks. We're going to talk more with her and share with some of our adventures in Dallas, plus introduce you to a very special surprise guest. But we're going to take a quick commercial break right now. So everybody sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. Oh Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
They are my friends, they are my children, they are the furry feathers and kids. They are my family, they understand me, that's how I love my pets.
I Love My Pets, the new single by Mark Winter, available on iTunes.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I am delighted to have the very special Joette White in the house, or at least on the air. She's president of Park Cities Pet Sitter. You have to dash over to pcpsi.com, and she is the gal, and she has the company if you need a pet sitter in the Dallas area. And we're talking about what happened in Dallas. Our trip was a lot of fun. Joette, I got to tell you, every time I come to Dallas area, my sister lives in the neighboring town of Allen. You guys there's always a new restaurant, a new activity center. You guys are major builders in Dallas. How long have you been in the Dallas area?
I have lived here since 1992 myself, so I went to high school in East Texas. But yeah, you never see an area without some sort of a giant crane or some sort of road construction or something's always going on here.
Yeah, you had some big bridges being built. We passed by a couple. I don't know. One was this big white one with all this little strappings.
Yeah, that's part of a whole project to rebuild kind of the downtown area and put some new shops and stuff down there. So just to bring more people to Dallas and revive an older area that deserves to live again. So it's exciting.
And what about the people and their pets? How would you describe the pet-loving population in Dallas?
Well, I tell you, I think we are, we love our pets more than anyone. We do everything, we do everything big in Dallas. So,
right.
It's on a grand scale. Yeah, I don't know. People are just, it's funny because, you look at the economy and what we've gone through, and you would think that pet sitting would be the first thing to go, if you lose your job or something happens. But people really dote on their pets, and their pets are a huge part of their family, and they don't skimp when it comes to that. And, they look for the best care, the best food, whatever it might be. And so, we really love our animals, and we take them with us. We have restaurants we can take them to, dog parks, pet-friendly hotels, all local that, people can take their animals along because people know the value of that and they understand that they are a part of the family. So it's really exciting.
There was one place I went to with my sister Deb that I was surprised allowed dogs. It's a place called Top Golf. And everybody, just imagine, we like to, we've gone to the driving range, right? But as Joette said, everything's big in Dallas. Oh, no, this is no humble little driving range. It is this $5 million mega complex with 3 levels where you get your own little drive area with your little fake grass carpet, and you get to aim at targets on this big field in front of you that are shaped circular, and it's all computerized. It's sort of similar to like bowling, I guess. Each level has its own bar, but guess what, Joette? If you have a nice dog and you keep your doggie on a leash, the dog gets to come with you when you go try your golf game at Top Golf.
See?
I saw a Great Dane there named Skittles, which I'm thinking, poor dog named Skittles, and it's a Great Dane. But I guess it will give new meaning to the dog leg left hit, I guess. But Zeki didn't show up there. She was lounging at my sister's house. We didn't do that. So we did the pet first aid classes, and then thanks to you, we went and gave a pet behavior workshop for a crowd of people. And again, what did you think about the pet behavior workshop?
Oh, I thought it was great. I think the clients felt that way as well. Many of them clamored to meet you afterwards, so I think that speaks for itself. It was a lot of good information. There was a great question and answer section as well, which gave them the opportunity to ask their individual questions. And there's such a need for this, Arden. I can't even begin to tell you. There's just not enough of this type of thing out there for people to get involved in. And I think people kind of go on their own, and they might search the web for this or that, but there's nothing like, being in person with other people that share the same issues and being able to discuss those and learning new things about your pet or what to look for. It's just really neat to be involved in.
Well, I was happy, too, because Zeki was there, so everybody got their Zeki fix, and we were able to have a real cat when we needed to give some examples, because they are both a prey and a predator. And then we had a couple of dogs. We had Bert back, the Great Pyrenees Basset Hound mix. And then in the audience was a lady named Claire. She is visually impaired, and she has a service dog, a black lab named Nectar. And Nectar, I thought, was terrific, as well as Bert. But I don't know. I think we can learn so much from our pets if we just give them a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
So I've been teasing you all along, audience, so I'm not going to tease you anymore. Here is the backstory on Zeki. Zeki was a stray kitty in Dallas, probably about 7-8 months old, on the 4th of July a few years ago, and she was very hungry. And apparently, she went up to a man thinking he was going to give her food. Instead, he took a hunting knife and scalped part of her back. She somehow managed to escape, and she flew under a deck. And thanks to kind people in the Dallas area, they were able to retrieve her and bring her to a veterinarian. And then a great group of people in the animal rescue field cared for her in her recovery. She needed water therapy. She needed countless stitches, and she was fostered by our friend Dusty Rainbolt. And there was this woman. Her name is Edwina. And all I knew was there was a senior lady named Edwina who heard about this kitty's attack on the news. There was a $5,000 reward for the capture of the man who did this to her. And she gave a blank check to cover Zeke's emergency veterinary care. For the past few years, I've been trying to find Edwina. And thanks to Dusty Rainbolt, you know what she did, listeners? She went on property records and knew the neighborhood and started calling people one by one, and finally connected with a 94-year-old lady. And she said, "Oh, yeah, I know Edwina. She's my friend. She lives down the street." And because of that and Dusty's detective work, we were able, after the pet workshop, to do this huge car caravan. Joette was there, a bunch of other people, and go to the house, a little corner brick home in Dallas, to meet Edwina Baxley. And at this point right now, I am going to play the short tape of us as we walked up her sidewalk and got to meet the woman who saved Zeke's life. Take a listen. Hey everybody, this is Arden Moore with the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. We are taping the show from Dallas, and I have gotten my wish come true. I am now standing in the living room of the remarkable woman who saved Zeke's life by writing a check so she can get her medical bills cared for. And I'm speaking about the one and only Edwina. What is your last name?
Baxley, B-A-X-L-E-Y.
So tell me a little bit about that fateful day when you heard about this kitty.
Well, Robbie, I think, found it, didn't you, Rob? And he called me. Come on.
Come on in, Robbie.
Actually, it was Up the street, and they had found it. It was under the deck.
Okay.
So we cut it out from under the deck, and it had its back.
Pretty bad, huh?
Pretty bad, yeah. It was just skinned.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody had skinned it.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what it looked
That's what I
like.
did, called Mom, saying, do you know anybody can help? And she's the one that did it.
What said to you, I need to help this kid?
Oh, well, I just can't turn down animals. We've got, go back in the back, you can see we can't turn down animals.
So now you see her now, and she's healthy, and she goes all over the country, and she helps
I'm
people?
thrilled to death. Yes, because I thought that day she never would make it.
Really?
Yeah, I did. She looked like somebody had skinned her.
And what made you write a check? Because you're just like a rich lady, or what?
Well, no, I take care of the elderly and was doing that for a man 90 when the dog bit my arm.
Oh.
No, I just love animals, and, I had enough to do it, luckily, then.
We really appreciate it.
If it was today, I wouldn't after all this other.
Well, you know what? Zeki is good timing, right?
Yeah.
So are you happy that her name is officially Zeki Edwina Rainbow
And
Moore?
I'm just so glad to see her.
There she is. If you could hold this for a second. She says, hey, thank you, Bobby. Thank you.
You just don't look like you did that day, baby. No, you don't. I thought you wouldn't make it.
She goes, I used a lot of my lives.
You wasn't going to make it.
Now, I heard it was a little trauma for you to see this kitty. I heard you almost passed out. Is that true?
No.
Okay, you were
That was Chris.
No, Now, you was asking me about Chris, and I couldn't think who that was.
Okay, so tell me about that day. So you guys here's when she walks. She walks a little like Charlie Chaplin. Got a little gait like this, but she lives with 2 dogs and a kitty.
Good.
And she's taught the dogs that cats are gods. And she's been to Vegas. She's got a baseball signed by Oral Hershiser, the Hall of Fame pitcher.
She's a celebrity.
She's hung out with that guy, Jackson Galaxy, with My Cat from Hell TV show. She travels all over the country now. Look at the gift you guys did.
Oh, go get our cat and show her. See how they do.
Oh, they'll be here.
Now, Oreo, our cat, is a rescue.
Okay.
And she was gone 2 months. She weighed 6 pounds. When we finally found her, after 2 months, she weighed 3.
Wow.
Now
I would be careful just in case. I don't know how the 2 kitties would get along, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah.
But anyway, we finally found her. We had circulars everywhere, and we finally just give up.
Yeah. You are a hard woman to find. I have been looking for you, Edwina, for a long time, so I hope you'll accept our flowers of gratitude that we give you.
Those are beautiful.
And I would give you some turkey, but Zeki ate it all.
That's okay. I understand things like that.
That's her favorite food.
I understand those things.
Okay. So come over here. We have, I want you to meet this special lady. This is Joette White. She is the president of Park City's Pet Sitters. She's the one who had me come here and give talks on pet first aid and behavior. So, Joette, what do you think about finally getting to meet the famous Edwina?
Well, I'm very excited to meet you. I've read all the stories that have been out there and heard the wonderful thing that you did.
I'm just amazed. I just didn't know that my rescuing a cat was going to make me people know me.
You're known all over the country now.
Good.
Yeah. So anyway, we just wanted to bombard you in our house with all my friends. My sister's here. That's my friend Jill. They live in Allen. And these are wonderful people. You know, Dusty and her husband. And all these people here had some part to do with Edwina or now helping her.
Well, that's wonderful. Man, goodness sake, I could like to take Edwina's place.
All right. Well, this is Arden Moore. You made my visit. I really wanted to meet you.
Well, I'm so glad you came. I'm so glad y'all came. I'm glad you all came.
I am so impressed with this woman. She really, truly loves animals. Her 2 sons were there, and this made my trip. We were able to finally thank the woman who saved Zeki's life. Joette, you were there when we met Edwina. Tell me your thoughts.
It was such a beautiful moment, Arden. I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and it was almost down to the wire when we finally found out where she was. So we didn't know if it was going to happen or not. So for it to all come together and to meet her, and she was just as delightful as you'd hoped she would be, and just an inspiration to everyone out there who, it doesn't matter if you have, $5 or $5,000, anything that you can give to help the animals that are in need out there, even if it's your time. It was just a wonderful thing, and I can't put enough words out there to express the experience. It was wonderful.
And I'm laughing because this wasn't this little genteel little old lady. She's wearing a Mickey Gilly party shirt on. And she had some spunk to her, didn't you think?
She did indeed. She was a delight. She just was infectious. She was a wonderful lady.
Well, I got to thank you, Joette, too, for making this trip to Dallas so possible. Zeki has had about 1 million cat naps to catch up on her travel. I think she's now rested completely. But we both miss you. We miss the nice people at Park City's Pet Sitters. I met so many nice people in Dallas that all love pets. And in the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back with Zeki. So I want to thank you, Joette. You really made a big difference in the lives of many, and for Zeki and myself.
Well, thank you. I feel like I've made a lifelong friend as well, and it's a great thing. So I look forward to seeing you again, and I miss you.
I miss you, too. You know, you never know, listeners, where adventures will take me next, but I want you to check out the fourleggedlife.com website and Zeki the Cool Cat Facebook. That's Zeki, the Cool Cat, because she's always on the go. And be sure to, if you're in the Dallas area and you need a pet sitter, go to pcpsi.com. That stands for Park City's Pet Sitter. I thank Joette White for being our special guest on today's show. Big paws up to you, girl.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I also do a salute to Edwina Baxley for being there when Zeki needed her and for saving her life. Hey, before I forget, I want to give a salute to the following companies who donated really awesome pet products for all the folks that were taking my pet first aid classes and attended the dog and cat behavior workshop while I was in Dallas. And I give big thanks to PetSafe, that is petsafe.net. They donated Lickety Sticks, that is the low-calorie nutritious treats for dogs and cats. The Company of Animals, that's companyofanimals.us, donated Pet Correctors. They are bursts of air that enable you to be able to disrupt a dog who's barking and get their attention. Very safe, very humane, and very effective. Dr. Emos donated Wound Care Wash and Ear Care Rinse, and you can learn more about Dr. Emos by going to www.petcleanse.com, and that's petclenz.com. Earth Bath, love that group. They donated a bunch of samples of the Mango Tango shampoo and grooming wipes. You can learn more by going to earthbath.com. And last but not least, Kong. They donated very, very nice tote bags and also chewy treats. And you can learn more about them by going to kongcompany.com. Again, I salute you. So does the Park City's Pet Sitter Group. And I got to tell you, all the folks that came were very delighted to see what was in their goodie bags. So thank you very much. And finally, last but not least, my cool producer, Mark Winter, who makes this show happen each and every week. I want you all to go over to the PetLifeRadio.com site. Check out all our terrific hosts that we have. We cover everything from iguanas to birds to cats and dogs and more. It is the #1 pet podcast network on the planet. And until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. Oh Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.